Sorry, I have to record while doing this, but I only have about an hour. I need to cook and I need to be out, but at the same time, I need to share these thoughts I have. Um, a lot of what I do is trying to teach, but also more so, it's trying to invoke conversation. Ask questions, provoke conversation, make people ask questions, make people think a little bit about certain things. And also, I don't know much, so I think it's also mostly just me trying to find answers without actually going out there to research and read because I'm a bit lazy. But I'm curious about what the direction that South Africa, and I guess that Africa as a whole, is trying to take. Like, where where are we going? And I mean this in a sense of, I think we're trying to develop, and that's good. Development is fine, but it seems like we're trying to develop in a certain direction that is not accustomed. I don't know if I've constructed that sentence right, but it seems like we're trying to build in a direction to which we are not accustomed. Like, we're trying to adopt or trying to fit into an international system that was not built by us, nor for us. And I wonder if actually that is a good idea for us. Is that what we need? Is that not perhaps the reason why we're failing, in the most part, to actually get a handle on this thing? I understand right now there's a lot of international people that have their paws, their fingers deep into our affairs. But even if they didn't, wouldn't we just be fish trying to climb trees, monkeys trying to swim, snakes trying to run, kangaroos trying to do a handstand, or a tortoise trying to jump? Wouldn't that be what we're doing if we're trying to take over a system that we didn't build, that wasn't been built for us? Shouldn't we then be thinking, okay, who are we? Where are we trying to go? Because systems evolve, systems change. Where we're gonna be in 20 years is not where we are now. It's not supposed to be where we are now. Things shouldn't be going in a linear trajectory. Things should be going, of course, probably very randomly, but essentially they should be increasing, and essentially it should be more of an exponential growth. But the question is the way in which the West has done it the way in which we should do it? Is that the way that is going to work for us? Are we looking at this the right way? Because the West has built what they've built up to this point, mainly off of our backs, mainly off of our sweat. And I guess most importantly and most mainly, if one can even say that, off of our blood. Whose blood are we going to shed? Are we willing to even shed any blood? Are we willing to 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 implement atrocities? Is that the right way of saying that? Are we willing to commit atrocities for our own benefit? Are we willing to take advantage of millions or maybe even billions of people for our own development, for our own gain? Is that the African way? And if not, then perhaps we should rethink this whole thing. Like, the parliamentary structure, the legal structures. A lot of structures aren't built by us. They're not governed by our beliefs. They're not governed by our traditions. Yet here we are trying to shape ourselves, trying to shape our future for those customs, for those laws, for those structures. And I wonder, is that the best way for us? Like, you're busy, teaching a fish about all the aspects of a tree and all the aspects of branches, which branches you can hang off of and all that stuff. But these things ain't got hands, these things ain't got these legs to hang on these branches. What point is it for you to be teaching the fish about the anatomy of a tree. And I just feel like perhaps that's the reason why we're struggling to actually build this thing. And of course, yes, there is external forces that are in play. I totally agree with that. But if you look at the totality of the development, the totality of the numbers, the populations that we have all throughout Africa, this is not just in South Africa, this is all throughout Africa. The systems just aren't working for us. Are these systems what we should be trying to build? Are these what we should be trying to perpetuate? Are these what we should be trying to fit into? Or should we be sitting down? Of course, I don't know where exactly sits down, but if people are willing to sit down with me, I'm very happy to. If people put me in leadership, I'll be fine with that. Are we willing to sit down and start making decisions, looking at who we are, looking at where we come from, looking at what we believe in, what we are strong in, what are our strong points, what are our weak points? Why should we then try to build something off of the backs of our weak points? Shouldn't we be trying to maximize on our strong points? That's what we should be trying to do. But now we're just trying so badly to just fit into a system that wasn't built for us. In fact, it was built on our blood and tears and sweat. And it's really, really sad that we're not thinking out the box enough to be saying, hey, this may not be what we need. This may not be what is going to work for us. This may not be the solution for us. We need to actually create a different solution. I mean, I'm talking about parliamentary system where kings fall under a president. Kings fall under the rule of law. And I'm like, is that how Africans have governed? Is that how Africans have grown? Is that how Africans have developed through millennia? I don't think so. Of course, different areas, different regions have different practices, different beliefs. And that's where I think that different kings in different monarchies in different areas perhaps would be better, more beneficial for those areas than a precedent for many areas. Like the issues we have in Bushbuckridge, though probably similar, are not the same as the issues they have in Eshowe, in KZN. So should we then be governed by one leadership? Should we then be governed by a system that is built by the West? Should that be what we're doing? Or should we be curating new systems that are going to govern us henceforth? Systems that are going to look at our traditions, our cultures, our people, our strengths, our weaknesses, and then try to utilize those and build on them. Of course, build on the strengths, build on them so that we create for ourselves an environment where we can thrive. Build a big pond, build an ocean so that fish can swim. Have massive trees, have a forest so that monkeys can swim. Climb trees, not swim. Don't let monkeys swim. They're not good at it. Let's make the environment better suited for us. I think it seems to me like we're struggling to adapt quick enough to the environment. We should then make the environment work towards assisting us, work in conjunction with our strengths, work well with our weaknesses. I don't think that sits well. I don't think that's how I should have said it. But I'm just saying, I don't think that we should be continuing to be trying to perfect a Western system while we are Africans of Africa who are now suffering. Majority of us are suffering. There's few people, probably a lot of people who are watching this. There's a lot of privileges that you have. And because of that, you remain blind to the actual realities that is taking place out there, to the people that are actually suffering, that are going through a lot of hardships out there. Because you live in a certain cocoon space, protected from all the harsh realities of life. And I'm saying, you're going to sit there and you're going to talk about, we need to do this, we need to integrate this, we need trade, we need what. Are those things really what's important to us? Are those things what are going to lead us into proper development, not just for people who form part of an elite, but for the entirety of the African people, because that is the most important thing. That has to be the most important thing for Africans, to create an Africa that is rife for its people to flourish. I feel like I'm messing up my English today. Jeez. But yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying. We're busy crying about, yeah, international relations, this and that. We literally have everything that we need here. Whatever that we don't need, which is mainly certain skill in human resources, we can develop it, we can start over, it'll be fine. I think everyone needs us except for us. We are fine with just each other. We can just close up and say, let us now build, create systems that are going to work for us, create systems that are going to help us grow, create systems that are going to take care of that weak, clueless person who is stuck in a certain space within a certain country because their nomadic culture cannot be followed anymore because we have created borders, which is something that we, of course, yeah, we had territories, but essentially, okay, you can't come to my territory, but you can go somewhere else. But then, of course, even if you can't go somewhere else and if you have nowhere else to go, hey, we are welcoming people. That is the culture of Africans. But now people are pushed into certain evil things. People have to do heinous crimes. People have to do crazy, crazy things because we're following a system that isn't built for us. And because we're struggling to adapt to it, we end up having to find ways of surviving. And these ways of surviving, unfortunately, are at the detriment of other people. And I feel like these are the things that we should try to look at, re-look at, rethink, reinvent going forward so that we can try and accommodate as many Africans as possible and not trying to nurture or nurse the egos, the trade partnerships or whatever that we have with the rest of the world. If we become a strong force by ourselves, for ourselves, people are gonna need us as they do. And we're gonna say, yes, sharp, need us. This is what you want from us. These are our terms. This is how we do things. This is how you can get this. Instead of us trying to fit into a world in which we've already lost. It's just a thought I'm having. Maybe it's the fumes from the beef I'm cooking.